Hello fellow screwdrivers, this is part 2 of the Massive Bottle Rocket series, where I am building a massive bottle rocket just like this one here. In part 1 I showed you how to splice the bottles together and attach the fins on. And in this video I am going to make the parachute and the parachute deployment system, as well as the launcher for the rocket. Okay, let's get started. To make the parachute, I'm using an old umbrella. If you don't have an old umbrella, then you can cut some cheap plastic party tablecloths into a circular shape and use that instead of the umbrella. So start by removing the fabric or plastic, in my case, from the frame of the umbrella, and then push a little hole at the end of each seam line. Then thread a piece of strong string through the hole and tie it in a knot. The string that I'm using is about 1.5 meters long, but it is up to you to decide how far the parachute is from the rocket. Now for extra strength, I put some tape over the string so it will keep it in place better. To make the rocket descend smoother, cut a hole with a diameter of about 10 centimeters at the top of the parachute. Once you have finished making the parachute, now it's time to make the parachute deployment system. Start by cutting along the seam line of a 2-liter bottle. So I've just cut out these 4 pieces of core flute that will be the housing for the parachute, and when we glue them all together, they'll fit in the bottle that we just cut. Yeah, so let's start gluing. Okay, so that's the gluing of the housing. Now I've used core flute for this because just like the fins, it's more durable and it's just stronger. So I'm going to put some of these rubber bands around the housing here. So when the parachute's packed inside here, it can spring back out when it needs to. So I'll just insert this into the bottle that we cut earlier, just like. Okay, so once the glue has dried around here, I'm just going to cut out a door here where I have drawn. So go ahead and cut that out. And once you've cut the door out, just get some scissors and just trim about, I don't know, 3 millimeters inward, so then the door won't get jammed when it's opening. And once that's done, just get some tape and get it about the same length as the long part of the door and stick it And stick the tape onto the main parachute deployment housing part, just like that. So now it can open and close very smoothly. Now guys, I've just cut a little hole in the wall of the parachute deployment system for a little like a toy timer. They come in toys that are just like those wind-up toys, which you can wind up and release, and then the handle of it spins. So, and you get a piece of wire, bend it into like an L shape, and drill a hole through the plastic part where you spin the mechanism up, and then place the L-shaped piece of wire through that hole, and I just put some super glue around it just to hold it in nice and firmly. And then you can fit the little mechanism inside the housing here, and then put some glue around it. So if you attach some string to here and loop it around here and then wind it up, you can undo it, and then it eventually it times up to undo the wall here or the door. So this might sound complicated now, but if you keep on watching, it'll make a lot more sense. So let's glue the mechanism into the hole. So guys, I've just glued on the little spinning mechanism for the parachute deployment system. Now, and I've also tied on this yellow string to the door so it can open and close. So you would pack the parachute, put it in here, and it'll push down on the rubber bands, so the rubber bands are forcing the parachute out. And then you would close the door, wind up the mechanism twice, and put the string through the little wire on the mechanism, through the wire, and spin it up for however much you need. Now I've just tied on this yellow string to a straw, so, and I've taped down a little plastic loop, so then you get the straw, push it through the plastic loop and over the piece of wire, so and then you tie the bottom of the string to the launcher, so the string would be straight and down the rocket and nice and stationary. So you can just let that go, and this will be at the top of the rocket that we made in part 1. So when the rocket gets released, it'll quickly pull the straw away, and then the timer will go, and then it will open the parachute hatch and let the parachute out. So yeah, that's basically it to the parachute deployment system. All you need to do is screw on a cap for the bottle so it's a bit more aerodynamic, and then I'll also tape on this whole part to the main rocket. Okay, let's tape it on now. So I got the rocket here with me. It's long, so it can't fit on the table. So you would just like slide this over the top like that. Get some duct tape or any kind of tape will work. Then just wrap that around the bottle. Now I did have this main bottle wasn't long enough for the to fit over the top of the rocket, so I had to just cut out a little extension on another bottle, tape it onto the parachute deployment system bottle, and then that's what we're taping onto the main rocket. So push the tape down, and then just like that, our parachute deployment system is done. Now you could add a well, I am going to add a rubber band here to the main body and the door, tape it down so then the door will feel like it's got a spring back, but then you'll put the parachute in, and so that's what will force the door open. Okay, now let's move on to the launcher. To make the launcher, get a PVC pipe with a diameter of about 22 millimeters. Then cut 300 millimeters of the pipe. Okay, so now you should have a piece of PVC pipe about 300 millimeters long, and the other end that we cut off about 700 millimeters long. Now, I'm gonna join these two pipes together with a 90 degrees elbow attachment, and also I'm going to be bonding them together with PVC cement for pressure pipes. So just very strong for PVC pipes that will bond those two. Start by getting one of your pipes, like the smaller one, and coat the outside of this PVC pipe with down the pipe, maybe like 2 or 3 centimeters, something like that. Just like that. Okay, now put that to the side if you can. I'm putting it in my vise, and then coat the inside of the PVC pipe connector here. There, just like that. Okay, now get both of the pipes and push them together and twist it a little bit so then the glue can bond easier. Push it in nice and tight. We don't want any air leaks. And then you might want to get like some paper towel or some tissue paper or something, and just slowly wipe around the pipe so it's a nice even finish. It doesn't have to be too perfect unless you want your launcher looking smick. Yeah, so just like that, and then do the same with the longer pipe. And then let the pipe to cure for a few days. Okay, so once the PVC pipe cement has cured for about 2 days-ish, then get an old bicycle tire inner tube. So this is just one that I got from an old bike shop. This had too many holes and punctures in it, so they didn't need it, so then they just gave it to me for free. So we want this Schrader valve, or the valve for pumping the tube up. So just cut around the tube, or just cut it like so. So then you've got your valve here. Now you need to trim it down so it is like a little square now, and then just put that to the side for now. Then get like a little cork, or like a cork, and then you'll need to get a knife or something and just shave it down. Until it fits inside of the pressure pipe end. So you've got to make it a nice and snug fit that you can just push in and it's nice and airtight. So go ahead and shave the cork down until it fits inside the pipe. Okay, so now that some of your cork can fit inside the tube nice and snugly. Cut off about 1 centimeter from where the cork can't go in any further. So from 1 centimeter from the pipe out. Okay, and we don't need this extra bit, so just throw it away, or you might need to use it for another project. So once our cork fits in nicely, you may, because we cut this too big, you may want to grab your scissors again and just kind of round it off. Not too close to the center, but so you would want to round it off like that until it fits about the diameter of your cork here. Okay, so now that that's trimmed, get a drill and a drill bit about the same width as this Schrader valve, and then drill right through the center of the cork. Okay, so once the Schrader valve can fit in nicely, you may want to give the rubber around the Schrader valve a bit of a trim so it fits in nicely. Okay, so once that's pretty good, test fit it in the longer pipe. We want this to go on the end of the longer pipe, not the shorter one. So if that fits in nicely, then we can go in and glue these onto the long pipe. So for the gluing, I'm going to be using epoxy adhesive. Yeah, for the job. You can use other high strength glues, but I recommend epoxy. So put a bit of it on a mixing pad or something that you're going to use. Now get like a paddle pop stick or something and start to mix it. Okay, so once the epoxy has been mixed up nicely and it's all mixed, now get your cork and the Schrader valve and put some epoxy around the black stem of the Schrader valve, just like so, and then push it into the cork like so. So it's nice and bonded, and then get some more epoxy and just carefully place the epoxy around the cork and the black part of the Schrader valve. Trying not to get any epoxy onto the gold part where a bike pump will be fitted onto the gold part of the Schrader valve. Okay, so once that's in nicely and it's all epoxied down, then get your long part of the PVC pipe and then get that ready and put some epoxy around the cork like so, so it's all nice and spread around. And remember, the hole at the bottom of the rubber should not be coated in epoxy. And then just simply squeeze that in. Now, due to some circumstances, I couldn't film and make the launcher at the same time. It was just a little bit tricky. So, I'm just going to show you the launcher completed now, and hopefully you can pick up how I made the launcher, so if you're going to make it. Now, so the PVC pipe that we glued earlier, just at the end, the Schrader valve attaches to a bike pump, and then over here is the actual launcher. Now it's made out of plywood and some just scrap wood that I just found laying around. Yeah, it's nailed together. I used nails, and I also nailed in these little L brackets, these metal L brackets with holes for nails. But how it works is I've put a few washers here that fit through the PVC pipe. So then the washers will act like a little stand for the rocket. Now I've also added some O-rings, one just lying there, and a smaller one that's actually in the PVC pipe to give to make sure the rocket doesn't have any water or air leaks. Now this bottle is going to be acting like a rocket, or the nozzle of the rocket. Now the rocket would go down like this, and then it'll go over the O-rings and just stay down there like that. Then you'd get this just a hose peg with some string attached to it, so you can pull it. You'll get the hose peg here, put it through the holes and over the little lip on the bottle, on the rocket. So you'd push the bottle down and put the prongs on the hose peg through the little holes in the metal brackets, and then it will create a little like the wire from the hose pegs will be overlapping these the lip on the rocket bottle, and then that allows the bottle not to fly off, or the rocket not to fly off, until you pull the string really tight, and then that would release the bottle like that, and then the rocket will go under high pressures. It would just go zoom right off the top of the pipe. I've also added these 4 holes, one over here. You just can't see it. But you get these little hose pegs. You can use this size, these ones, but these ones work just as well. And then you put them through the hole, and then you would hammer down the peg, so then the bottom is way into the ground, and it will just hold down the launcher. So when you pull the pin, the rocket, the launcher won't tip over, and hopefully the rocket won't go flying in directions that you don't want it to go. So that's why it's very important to have these little hose pegs pegged into the base of the launcher, so it doesn't move around when you are putting pressure into the rocket and also pulling the pin. Okay, so thanks for watching this video. It took me quite a while to make this video. There was lots of takes on shots that I failed on, and it just took me ages to make. So I hope you enjoyed it. The next video is about some stairs that I made, and the video after that is part 3 of this series, and it's the final part where I will be launching the rocket, and hopefully it will succeed. Okay, see you next time, and thanks for watching.